Hello, everybody. Welcome to Unscripted. This is our third episode. I'm joined here with James, one of our Rockstar team members at the Coreum Development Foundation. How you doing, James?
I'm doing good, my man. We're back at it.
Nice. So, How's your day been at work? Because obviously, we always do these podcasts really late. Definitely after we had a long day of working, tons of meetings, and how was your day?
It's been good, man. It's been good. It's every day I feel like I'm learning at this company, which I absolutely love, so today was like every other day in that I learned a whole bunch of stuff and messed up a whole bunch of stuff, and I'm really excited. I definitely. It's like middle of the week now, and I think we have a really good grasp on what's to come, and There's some exciting stuff. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm amped. How about you, man? How was your day, bro?
It's been very hectic. A lot of meetings. To give a little context for anyone who's new to watching the podcast. Just to introduce, what we're doing. We're building a layer 1 blockchain on the Cosmos SDK, building it for institutional use, enterprise use, and pretty much all of the above. We're pushing a lot of internal initiatives when it comes to banking the unbanked, and just many different things that are going to benefit not only the blockchain ecosystem, but people outside of it as well. My day has been good. Yeah. It's just been having a bunch of meetings and putting the pieces together. I think as every day goes by, things start to make more sense. Sometimes you have those days where, it's a little stagnant. Typically, people are at conferences and things like that. We're at a really weird point because when I first started, it was like conference. There were clear like weekly, monthly milestones that we were racing towards, and it feels like we've kind of hit. There's like this little space where we're, not going to all these different conferences, and it's kind of cool because, like I said, it's given me time to really like dig in on the branding side and really understand how we're marketing in these awesome businesses that we have building on Coreum. Like kind of getting my head wrapped around and learning them. That's been really interesting because it hasn't just been like, all right, go talk about Coreum at this event or that event, right? It's we've had time to really focus on our ecosystem and definitely
and the different use cases that are building on Coreum, which is so cool. I actually wanted to talk this episode a little bit about some of those because we have some coming out. By the time this podcast is out, some of them might be launched, some of them might be about to launch, but there's some really awesome ones. I don't know if you want to talk about them, but you're probably the one that brought them in, bro. So, I feel like...
I think it was definitely a team effort.
I saw that the Coreum Insider had posted, because I follow too, but I saw Coreum Insider post like a poll about like which of the upcoming projects people are most excited about. Like, for you, what do you think if you weren't part of the foundation, you'd be the most excited for?
I'd say there's two sides to it. One of them being Coreum, the other one being Sologenic. Definitely on the Coreum side, many of the grantees from Wave 2 and even Wave 3 are preparing to launch. So it's very exciting to see them kind of come to fruition with building out long-awaited projects that, people are definitely excited for. But on the Sologenic side, I would say the ATG, the asset tokenization technical paper, that's going to basically outline the dynamics of basically the asset tokenization gateway that we're building on the XRPL. To get into also some of the projects on Coreum, one of them being Token Proof. Token Proof is built by some of the, I would say, pioneers in this industry, creating many solutions for blockchain, such as token gating events.
Yeah.
So they've partnered with Adidas. They've partnered with even major crypto conferences like ETHCC, and token gated those events and allowed a blockchain integration for NFT ticketing. So I think having that native on Coreum is going to unlock a lot of doors for not only crypto events, but non-crypto native events. It's really sky's the limit when it comes to in-person activations.
The token proof specifically. I mean, I've obviously done a lot of work on it on the marketing side, and I think that's awesome. Like before this, right, in one of my previous lives, I was throwing a lot of parties and doing a lot of stuff, and especially being out here in Hollywood, being in LA, there's levels to this shit, right? and you got VIP, and you got this and that, and I think it's amazing that you could take the idea of taking a company, being able to say like, hey, if you bought this exclusive merch, then you get to come to our section or whatever, You could literally do that with token proof. And I think it's really cool too. Like as I've been diving into their company, like I said, having this extra time, it's not really just about like let's destroy Ticketmaster because they're way better. But like, it's not just that. It's like, the security of it and the way that they can verify the NFT without having to like really access your wallet, and the dynamic QR codes. I think that all those factors are just really cool and unique. And I think we've talked about this on basically every episode, but I think the whole chain abstraction or these retail facing applications that really integrate with or work in Web 2 are just incredible because like I can actually tell my friends about it and they know what I'm talking about.
Absolutely, definitely.
I mean, so would you say that of those our upcoming projects, that's in your number one slot?
I mean, it's definitely up there. I know that there's going to be one event that we're going to be throwing in the future that we're going to be utilizing token proof. So that's going to be really, really fun. Definitely going to announce details, when the time is right. And also the NFT Evolutions guys, they actually have a 2-year anniversary on Sunday. And I talked to them about their event in November at the Caribbean. So I talked to them about potentially token gating that event. We could sponsor like a VIP section over there.
Hey,
I don't know.
In the Caribbean?
Cool.
It's in the Caribbean?
Yeah.
So. Okay. So, Bob, if you're listening, we're going to need 2 tickets to the Caribbean. No, that's sick. Yeah. I mean, token proof, I'm super excited about. It's definitely high up on my list. It's a battle because I've also been doing a lot of stuff with Video Master. That's another project that's on its way out.
Nice.
And maybe it's because I'm a little Hollywood. I've been in this content, production space for quite some time, acting and whatnot. And the idea of being able to like NFT token gate your content as well, and kind of putting the power back in the creator's hands is just like,
I agree.
To me, right?
And I mean, think of it too. Like, why would you want that on the blockchain? Why would you want a video platform, for creators and, consumers alike? Like, why would you want that on the blockchain? It only really makes sense if you have these mechanisms where, you're not paying for subscription. You're actually paying for what you watch. So it's a lot of these features that you can integrate with a smart contract that really does change the game, and it revolutionizes the way that I believe that people are going to be watching content and consuming content. And I know that they're starting out with, what was it? Comedy?
Stand-up comedy. Yeah, they're starting out with stand-up comedy.
Do you remember?
They have some great acts on there. Yeah. I know that, and I'm still diving into their platform and playing around a little bit. But like what you were saying, the stream pay thing, I think that is incredible because I don't know how many times I've gotten caught paying for like Disney Plus, and I bought it on a whim, and I just because my goddaughters wanted to watch some Frozen 12 or something, and so I got it, and now I'm paying like $30 a month, and I didn't even realize it. And the idea that like I could have watched Frozen 12, and when they fell asleep halfway through, I stopped paying for it.
Yeah.
That concept is just incredible to me, and I think it's really cool that they're going with stand-up comedy first, because stand-up comedians, I have a couple stand-up comedian friends, and they kind of create the content themselves, and then once it's out there, once a joke is told, you know, and you know the punchline, you know, it's kind of out there. So them just throwing it on YouTube, they're making pennies. Yeah. You know what I mean? So now on this platform, they can set their own prices and
even have donations potentially.
Exactly.
You know? If they really enjoyed the content, you know, you can pitch a donation and maybe even put a memo note like, "Hey, that was a really good performance" or something. It just really connects people to. You know, without the monetary value, I do believe blockchain, it does bring people together, but in some senses it can bring people apart. But but again, I think we should only talk about the good stuff,
the positives.
Right?
Yeah, man.
Exactly.
Let's stay positive. That's
no
what I'm here for.
CBDC talk.
Yeah, yeah. Oh God, don't get him started about the CBDCs. No, my thing too, because like just to kind of round out this talk, because so those projects, obviously they're very like retail facing, and both of them have integrations where you don't even need a crypto wallet to interact with them necessarily, for the most part. But the other projects that we have that are about to launch, I'm a little bit more cloudy on them, and maybe you can help me out, like with bids. I get it kind of, but it's an NFT marketplace, right? Or an NFT marketplace builder.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, what's unique? Yeah, and that's a good question, because it's really good to highlight bids, because they were actually, that team they were the builders of on XRP, which is, I think, one of the first projects on the XRPL. Wow. That created an NFT marketplace, I believe a launch pad. They have a bridge. Really cool ecosystem they built. And we met them. We met that team, me and Fabio, over in LA actually. And you know, I think Fabio, when he first saw them, he's like, "Oh, it's the OnXRP guys." Like, I don't want to talk to them. And then I'm like, "Come on, like we gotta say hi." You know,
right.
Like, I'm the business guy, so it wasn't even about that. I'm just
right.
That's
your personality,
exactly.
Man,
so I just, you know. They were really nice. I think I pitched, you know, them building on Coreum that night. I can't say that, you know, anything was signed, but it's refreshing to get people who really care about blockchain and really want to see the industry succeed, and bringing them on board to build out NFT marketplace on Coreum, utilizing smart token features. So it's, you know, it's going to be very intuitive when it comes to issuing NFTs. So you can whitelist, burn, use IBC. We'd have to do, I think they're doing an AMA soon. But yeah, it's going to be a cool NFT marketplace that, as the foundation, I think we could probably bring a lot of value to them, because, you know, there's so many leads, so many different projects that we get in touch with that want to launch NFT collections,
right?
And they actually have users and community, and you know, these types of things might not seem so important because for the most part it's just JPEGs, but those JPEGs, you know, those are people's profile pictures, and you know, it creates a community, and it really is the backbone of crypto. So yeah, I think that's a big reason why we're not seeing such a huge cataclysmic, how would you say it? We're not seeing, you know, hundreds of thousands of users come in like daily on Coreum, because again, it's a new chain. We're focusing on the right things, right? We're putting the foundation there for the developers, and obviously the institutions that want to see compliance engines put on the blockchain. So those are the types of things we're doing, and you know, it's taken a while to kind of get all those things in place, and trust me, it's hard to keep people excited in the ecosystem when that's the main focus in the beginning of, if you're trying to do it the right way. You know?
Right. Well, I mean, it definitely is a focus at this particular company on longevity, on long-standing growth, right? On compliance, which we talked about with Fabio in the last episode, right? It was like making sure all those boxes are checked so that we're in the right position to have this large institutional adoption or bring businesses that maybe didn't even think about tokenizing or being on chain, helping them to get on chain. It's just, ask me about tokenization, right? I think tokenizing, right? Yeah. Smart tokens, come on. I think the idea of bringing these businesses, these use cases on chain is that's the part that I've like really attached to with the company, and it's kind of like we were chit chatting earlier, and we talked about like when I'm explaining to somebody what is Coreum, like we are a hammer company, we're a pen company. We may not write a sonnet or a great novel, but you use us because we're lightweight and we don't run out of ink, and you know what I mean? Like we're this tool that you're using to build these great projects, and the company itself supports the project so heavily. I really love that part of it.
And I think too, like if you were to look at the industry, 5, 7, because every year is so different. It's like I would say, 8 years ago, it was a much different industry. So what I mean by that is there was just not many ways to put people on chain. Maybe they can create an NFT collection, maybe they can create a DAO, maybe they can do certain things, but I really do believe that some of these new developments happening, especially chain abstraction, is really going to enable these businesses that don't know what a blockchain is to be able to use the blockchain. And there's an incentive there because it's going to be integrated to all these massively adopted platforms like X and Telegram and LinkedIn and potentially even your Chase banking app.
Yeah. That's so. I mean, dude, it's so cool, and that kind of brings me to the last project. I don't want to say the last project because I won't disrespect them because they're cool people. But L0,
we save the best for last.
We save the best for last. There you go.
That's what we do.
L0, right? And honestly, this is the company not being too.
And it's understandable.
Blockchain. Tech, crypto, well-versed, but it's a little more developer-centric. Sure. But it falls right in line with what you're saying. Is like Coreum's goal has been to build this really strong foundation that businesses feel comfortable. They can easily and safely, securely build in this blockchain Web3 space and build projects that will last for a long time and that have that will really benefit their customers and going forward.
I agree. Yeah, no, absolutely. And, I think that the industry is very tribalistic. I think that more people in the industry should be helping each other out rather than gatekeeping. And I'm not going to name any companies, but I think we have an idea, right? It's like kind of like the Coinbases of the world, right? Don't get me.
I'm not going to name any names.
Coinbase. They're the biggest one. They're not going to watch this, obviously, so I can call them out. But who knows? Maybe Brian Armstrong, if you're listening to this, let me know. Let's get on a call. But I think they have really great solutions. Especially with chain abstraction, they have all these different connections with the biggest companies, even outside of Web3. And that's what's going to push the needle. It's not, building blockchain solutions that are siloed in your industry. Yes, that helps. It's good to showcase it. But what's going to push the needle is partnering up with enterprises and companies that have a platform that is used on a wide scale. We know what that is, like Uber Eats, I'm drawing a blank.
You're absolutely right. This is the time too. I feel like this is the time in Web3 where those companies are being defined, right? So, we'll use our companies because I think they're great, but like Token Proof will be the ticket master. When you think about buying tickets, for the last 20 years, 30 years, you're thinking Ticketmaster, right? But now Token Proof will be who you think about in this new Web3 space.
Exactly.
Or Video Master will be the YouTube or Netflix that you think about, and the Uber, whenever that use case comes around, right?
That's actually a company that's called, it's on Cosmos. It's
like rideshare, crypto
it
rideshare.
Is, yeah, it's a crypto rideshare. I don't want to disrespect them, and it's a really cool application. So,
I gotta hear about this.
And we're back.
Yeah,
I did have to look that up because, again, I did use the application. I trust the people who who built this application on the Cosmos SDK. But it's called Nride. They actually, they have an application that utilizes blockchain that you can actually send crypto as a way to pay for ride sharing. So,
wow,
pretty cool.
That is super cool.
If anybody in the industry is doing events, I'm pretty sure these guys are global. So, hit them up. Again, it's called Nride. Just look that up. I'm sure it just pops up. But they will service your event for ride sharing and things like that. If you want to make your event more blockchain centric, those guys are. Yeah. I can definitely attest to those guys.
Yeah, that's dope, man. I mean, I think to what you were saying earlier, man. It's let's stop with the tribalism, right? It's a Cosmos chain, and we're here with that. But like let's go, guys. That's such a cool use case. Like, I love the idea of that, and it's funny because as we talk about this Web3 world and where the future is headed with all these different use cases, they're really just providing ways that you could use crypto, right? Because I think traditionally crypto, when you thought crypto, you just thought like Wall Street. Here's a digital Wall Street. That's cryptocurrency, but and that's Web3 kind of. But
I think they were thinking more like Silk Road scam.
Right. Oh, yeah. Originally, yes. Absolutely. Right. And I think, like Ethereum was one of those entry points. And actually, there's something going on with Ethereum, right? I think I was reading, the Grayscale?
ETF.
Yeah, so the Grayscale ETF. What was that all about?
They launched the ETF today.
Yeah.
And it had, what was it? Over 400, don't quote me, over 400 million in outflows. So
so it was like a pump and dump.
I don't know if they even pumped it. It was just a dump.
It was just a dump. Dang.
But that's reflecting in the actual markets, and whether that's call it what you want, consolidation or what. But I think we're actually seeing real time, like what plays out when we mesh a blockchain that doesn't. It's very hard for that layer one to scale. Yeah. If you're trading in the native token, it's going to need a lot of gas fees. I pay $50 in a gas fee for sending $5 or whatever. It's ridiculous. So if you're looking at institutional investors, I don't know if they care that much about these gas fees.
Yeah.
But to the same point, I think, I don't have a huge opinion on it because it just came out. But I think this kind of sets blockchains that are built to really scale, in a good spot when it comes to. Honestly, I don't think Coreum should have an ETF.
Right.
I don't think that should happen.
Right.
But Gary Gensler, let us know. I'm joking.
No, but I love that you see the silver lining, man. Yeah. You're an incredible salesperson, dog. I just want to say that Michael is a beast.
I'm not selling anything.
No, because you really did find a silver lining to that friggin' storm cloud of a sell-off that maybe could have set some people, honestly, to say, oh, look how scary crypto is, right? Because the Bitcoin ETF went off and everybody was excited about it, right?
Very volatile.
It is, and when you see something like you just said, Coreum and other blockchains that are more lightweight, right? They don't cost as much as far as gas fees, and they have more use cases, and building on them makes a little more sense. It just sets it apart. And that's really a sales point, man. I love it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And we're partnered with BitGo, they're one of the biggest, one of the largest institutional custody platforms in the industry. I think that the ETFs are kind of pointless when you have these institutional custody platforms that can kind of facilitate that security that you would have otherwise on a traditional market, because you're still getting that FDIC insurance, I can imagine.
Right.
You're still getting these sort of security, you're getting this extended security, I hate this word infrastructure, but
right.
you're getting that you're getting that strong infrastructure from BitGo. So I don't see why anybody would want to dive into buying any ETFs when you can utilize a custody platform like BitGo that probably is more secure than these traditional systems that we are using today. So
yeah,
I mean,
that's such
just
a good
little
point.
Food for thought.
Yeah,
I don't know if anyone really.
It's such a good point, and as you say that, I mean, it almost actually does make sense, because I've seen so much on X. I mean, I've been on. I hadn't been on X really a lot before I came to Coreum, and now I'm on it constantly every day, right? And
Mm-hmm.
as I'm kind of tooling around on there, I see so many people talking about how the government and different people, oh my God, this person just talked about it. This person just talked about it. And as these larger institutions, and I think we talked about this in a previous episode, as these larger institutions and people, they kind of are stuck in their old ways. So it almost makes sense that their first adoption would be like, let's go where there's the most, liquidity, and let's do an ETF like we would do in a traditional Wall Street sense. And it doesn't really translate, because it's not one-to-one in that way, right?
I think it's a lack of education.
Yeah.
I really do. I mean, I think if we're looking at it, and I think you're correct in the way you're thinking, but I do think that it could be lack of education on the institutions, you know, for the people who are diving into these types of investments. So, you know, if any institution or fund manager is watching this, look into BitGo or Fireblocks. You know, we're actually partnered with both of them. So when it comes to security and compliance, we're trying to make sure that all of our clients and investors are, serviced to their caliber of requirements.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and it's I kind of think of it, and it's like kind of clicking in my head. So sorry if I'm kind of talking out of my ass here, but
no.
But like, if Wall Street could say, actually build companies with those investments and things that you're seeing, like if you could see your buying of stocks and shares go to work, that's kind of what we're doing with Coreum, right?
Yeah.
Is like putting that to actual work, as opposed to just like, give it to us and we're going to go do a bunch of stuff, and who knows, it might go up, it might go down.
Yeah.
It's like you can actually see where these things are working, because it's a blockchain. It's transparent.
Yeah. And it's also to kind of play into, like, you know, that the other project is L0. You know, I think if you are building an application that, you know, for example, if you're building a application that would allow trading of Forex, you need to be able to test the blockchain. So what L0 is it's a platform that allows you to test the blockchain. So stress test it, essentially. So make sure that, you know, if you're choosing a blockchain to build out, let's say, an institutional application, what I mean by that is, you know, a trading platform, a DEX, you know, something that you think is going to handle a lot of volume and quote unquote, you know, throughput. L0 is basically that platform that you would use to stress test all of these different components of the blockchain. So at the protocol level and also at the smart contract level.
Interesting. So does it like run like AI scenarios kind of, or something like that? Like, what if?
That's a good question.
What if you do all this?
I think I could imagine maybe I think a lot of AI integrations, I think that would make sense. I'd have to talk to I'd have to talk to the guy.
Yeah. But that is thank you for saying that, because honestly, I was a little bit lost when it came to L0. But like I said, there's so many there's so many conversations that are going on, especially on X, where people are like, you know, everybody's looking to the higher ups and the bigger people for advice or guidance, or like, what are they doing, trying to get inside their minds. And it's funny because, like, I mean, damn, the owner of X, right, Elon, he's got his opinion. I feel like my feed is just filled with Elon tweets.
Elon, he mentioned today actually that that the dollar is going to collapse, and you know, that's a pretty strong statement for. Especially the guy who owns X. He's the richest man in the world.
He has the most U.S. dollars.
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, I mean, there's definitely, you know, you take it for what it is. It could be FUD. You know, these people could be playing different sides. I mean, but at the same time, I mean, look at the economy right now. I mean, he is right to an extent. I mean, he is right in my opinion. I think we're giving all this money to Ukraine. You know, now we are basically funding all these different wars. You know, I'm not saying that it's right or wrong to do that, but this is just the reality we're living in. And
they are facts. You're right.
And yeah, I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just, because again, I have to look more into it. But what I do know is, on a macroeconomic level, we can't sustain ourselves as a country if we are going to remain with the U.S. dollar as the reserve currency, because if your national currency is a reserve currency of the world, basically that would entail you providing liquidity to all of these different foreign markets, and whether they're good or bad, I do believe that is kind of like a Gestapo type of structure, and I think that blockchain technology and distributed systems, I think, really do fix this issue of, leveling the playing field.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have enough of a finance background, you know.
I don't either.
I do know, like,
I really don't.
Like, it's interesting, man, because like I find myself on, and we've had plenty of conversations about that, on kind of both sides of the fence a little bit, because I do recognize and realize that if you're the most powerful country and you're going to stay in power, then you got to like help your homies out. It's like, it's what keeps you there. And at the same time, also on that side of the fence is like, foreign policy is domestic policy. Like, if you are concerned, if you're a person that's concerned about like borders and things like that, and people who are coming here escaping persecution or bad situations, you kind of have to like make sure that they're good there, and then they won't escape, and then you're kind of cutting it off at the head, right? And at the same time, I completely understand the idea of like, we've talked about this, like the Federal Reserve, like you just issue more currency, you're kind of watering down the market. If you just start to give it away too much, then it's too much in circulation, right? Like you just got too much out there or whatever.
But do you
right?
believe, James, do you think that, in the past 5-6 years, I think that it's accelerated in a sense where, for me, I mean, I over observe. I'm not a pessimist, but I do think that a lot of this is kind of all by design when it comes to this collapse of our economy. And whether it's for good or bad, there's always winners and losers when it comes to a collapse. So I do believe the people who are pushing this narrative and pushing this bad economics, these people are going to win, and I think that we gravitate towards what's leveling the playing field. I'm a Christian. I believe that everyone deserves a fair shot, but I do think life shouldn't be easy. I think we're supposed to do our research. We're supposed to go through these trials and tribulations, and days can be dark. Some days can be very bright. But so long as you have that hope and that faith that there's good workings in this world, I think you just got to gravitate towards that. And James, I think you're put in this place where you're pushing the good. I think you're doing.
Thank you, man.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think God puts us in
where
places.
we're supposed to be, for sure.
Definitely.
And honestly, man, I completely agree with you. And it's funny because we have a lot of talks not on the podcast, guys. This is not the only time we talk, but honestly, man, I the way I kind of look at it when it comes to, like, we talk about charitable giving or whatever, I personally, even though I don't think that there's an intrinsic, universal right and wrong, but I do think that there's like a soul, a humanity, right and wrong.
Yeah.
And if you, maybe it was just the way I was raised. It's like, if you can, you should, And so so that kind of, it eats away at me when I say, like, yeah, close the borders, like, fuck everybody else, like, let's just close our ears. Homeless people, like, fuck out of here. Like, all those things kind of sometimes eat at me. So then, and if I was to bring it back to my Christian roots, it would be like, Christ, what would Jesus, WWJD? I had the bracelet, What would Jesus would be giving bread to everybody.
Flipping the merchants' tables.
He'd be flipping merchants' tables. He would be taking down billionaires. He'd be Bernie Sanders, but but black. Let's be honest.
Hey, you never know. His feet were dark as brass.
Exactly, dark as brass. Baby hair like whoa, come on. But I'm just saying, I definitely, and again, neither of us are giving financial advice, nor are we politicians or have any. We're not telling you who to vote for or anything. But I just think it's important that we understand. And I think this goes through our whole company, is that, like, we are trying to do and build something that is for the better. It's for the betterment of humanity. It's for the betterment of the people who are entrepreneurs.
Yeah,
their customers. Yeah, like, so I think that was what really drew me to this company once I got here and once I finally figured out what we do. But I think it's a beautiful thing, and like you said, banking the unbanked. Like, there's so many beautiful things on the way, and if we could just keep that message, this is a hope. This is purely a dream, is that if you stay the course, like, other people will join in and the narrative will shift, and eventually all those old demons, they die out, and the people who are left will be the
people with the souls.
There you go.
I mean, hey, I don't know.
But you never know. But again, to end it on a positive note, man, I'm super excited. I'm super bullish on what we have going on here, man. I think there's just so many beautiful projects, so many awesome people, great ideas. At first, I think I was really confused about, like, being the pen or being the hammer, right? Because it was like, how do you brand a hammer? Mm-hmm. You can hit things with it, but it's like, no, we're really selling houses, office buildings, schools, orphanages. We're selling.
I was gonna say, instead of the hammer, I was gonna say, I think we're selling paintbrushes.
I like paintbrushes so much more.
But James, yeah, this has been an amazing discussion as always. Before we close it out too, if anyone's interested to learn more about what we're doing, this is our link right here. You can reach us at www.coreum.com. And feel free to send us an email or reach out to us on X. Our handle on X is
Coreum Official.
Coreum Official.
Yeah.
So, reach out to us there, and happy to collaborate with anybody. So long as you have your licenses and compliance all worked out.
As long as you feel the same way and your business is built the same way as what we're talking about, let's do it, man. I think the future is now, and it's fun. I'm excited. Cheers, man.
Cheers.
Unscripted. James Ship Like a Boat. It's Michael McCaffrey.
It's been an amazing discussion.
Always, man.